Yeah, welcome to the best post show ever, or 2020 style, the best post show we can do. I'm just going to hang out here at the deck of Loretta Lynn's Ranch, round one of Lucas Oil Pro Motocross. Jason Weigandt for Racer X. Don't have any guests today because we are socially distant in the pits, but we will have clips from the post-race press conference, which we will invite you to so you can get inside the mind of the riders. And man, do we have a lot of stuff to unpack today from this opener. But I want to give you the overall vibe. This has been very difficult, as you would imagine, to get any race or this particular race going. All sports leagues, all racing series had their share of problems. So I think coming into it, everyone was willing to have an open mind and take it all with a grain of salt. But yesterday was not a great day by any means. We had the crazy shakeup of Washugal's out and we're coming back here again. At first maybe on a Tuesday, then it turned out to be next Saturday. So we had that drama to follow, and then we had a track that was saturated by rain, and then just before the riders were going to go out and ride it, it rained again, so that was a bit of a ball up. And then our TV truck, we had power problems. It just was kind of the we can't get everything nailed the way we want vibe yesterday. So the best news of all is we didn't know exactly how motocross would look in socially distant times, but now that we've actually seen it, we know what it looks like. It looks pretty much just like motocross normally looks, and that is a huge step in the right direction, because we can now turn the conversation back to racing instead of, are we going to go racing? We'll be back here next week, and that's really not a bad thing because the racing this weekend turned out awesome. Track was very raceable. Shout out to the track crew for digging their way through the mud, like literally, and also making some nips and tucks to change it from an amateur track and make it a little bit wider and faster for the pro guys. So let's talk first about the 450 class. Rare is it that the 450 division is the one with the parity and the craziness, and the 250 class had a little more predictable, boring, shall I say, race action. In the 450s, you had 10 guys that had moments that looked good for them, but ultimately, we are seeing a real run now for the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna team. 1, 2, 3 at the last Monster Energy Supercross round of the series in Utah, and 1, 2 overall today. Jason Anderson. Did you have Jason Anderson winning the first moto of the season in the 450 class? Don't lie. Well, he won it, and he won it in a romp and left 9 other guys battling behind him. Late in the second moto, he said he got arm pump and started to drop back. And I really feel like this track was so tricky with the ruts and the deep dirt that you were always millimeters away from flowing and then all of a sudden making mistakes and then getting arm pump and tightening up. That got the better of Anderson in Moto 2. He was so smooth in Moto 1. And Zach Osborne is the one that upended him again to get the win, just like he did at the last Supercross in Utah. Late in the second moto, we saw the real Eli Tomac. He struggled, I think, with that arm pump in Moto 1. Caught Osborne, but couldn't get him in Moto 2. So that's a big statement by Osborne. He has now won the last Supercross and the first Motocross, both his first 450 wins in either division. We'll send it to the press conference now and see what Osborne had to say about his weekend.
Honestly, I woke up a little bit on the wrong side of the bed. I was a little bit not in the mood for it this morning, but the track was really good when we went out. Right off the bat, I kind of felt the flow and was able to get into the mindset pretty quick. So for me, it was just an execution thing. I knew that I needed some good starts, which the first one was not great. I was around maybe 10th or so, and then the second one, obviously with the whole shot, was really, really good. So it's a great way to start. And, with this whole thing being what seems to be like a pretty fluid situation, we never know when the end's going to be as far as the series and everything goes. So I knew that it was important to strike early and, even if I didn't win today, take as many points as I could and try to build some momentum. So to get the win and take the red plate's really awesome.
So that's Osborne. Anderson, like we said, we had not talked about him much coming into this season, and he let his riding do some of the talking this time. Here he is in the press conference.
First moto went really good. I got up front, and I think just honestly just a clear track. I think if anyone were to get up front like I was, I think that clear track would have helped them out and got them up there, and to get to be able to take your own lines and figure it out while all the other guys are just getting cross-rutted, battling and stuff like that. So that was good for me. Second moto, I was in second behind Zach, and I kind of started tightening up a little bit. So Eli went by me, and I was going to try and learn from him, but I kind of blew up a little bit. So with 3 laps to go, I kind of ran into a lapper and lost third place, and kind of just got train rolled by all the other guys and ended up in the back. But at the end of the day, P2 for overall for the first day is not bad on the podium, so I'm stoked.
And Tomac salvages a third overall. For most riders at the opener, you take the points, 7-2 scores from him. But, I mean, look, he was coming in with 3 straight titles here and getting that Supercross monkey off his back, so that was big. And he didn't quite come out here and dominate the proceedings. But I think Tomac's in such a different place mentally now that I don't think that's going to rattle him very much. Here's Tomac's thoughts.
Yeah, Moto 1, it was, after like halfway, I just started going backwards. And I wasn't comfy with the lines. The ruts were crazy today. I mean, there was ruts everywhere. So if something wasn't quite right, it was in that condition, it's really easy to struggle. And that's what I was struggling with. And then, made just a front end change for Moto 2, got back to what I've been on in the past, and it worked. So obviously was a little bit behind, and Zach was riding really well, but glad to be able to somewhat normal for Moto 2 there.
So the 250 class, like I said, it was a little bit more procedural. An amazing job by Dylan Fernandez. His trainer and coach, who is David Villeman, always says the way he wants to see his guys ride is no rev, no extra scrub, no extra body English on the bike, or body French. He wants to see his guys ride easy. And on this track, that had all these hooks and all these deep holes and all these ruts, and it was just really hard to ride this track smoothly. You could see how Fernandez did it. He never buried the bike deep in the ruts. He would try to find the smooth line where he could. There were times where it really looked like he was backing off and really mastering the ride slower to go faster technique. Fernandez was on a flight tonight, not in the press conference, but he did explain a lot of the emotions of the race day on the podium on TV.
It was a little bit, when you don't ride for a long time, especially in an outdoor, you never know where you are. And doing 2 good starts, being strong in the moto, having the good setup on the bike, the team behind me, I feel it's going to be a great year. For sure, I would have to stay healthy, but from today, I feel like we can try to go for the win every weekend, to make the perfect season. That would be a dream come true. So I will try and see, but yeah, perfect day, and the bike was awesome.
So that was Fernandez's interview with Will Christian there for NBC Sports. So Fernandez takes the win. How about RJ Hampshire? I just want to give him credit. I believe a lot of people, maybe myself, believed he was coming back a little early from ACL surgery, and riding a super muddy, rutted track like this would be the worst case scenario for that. But RJ, so far so good, didn't re-injure himself, and rode one of the best outdoor races we've ever seen him ride. He did win an overall 2 years ago back in Budds Creek, but I feel like he rode today just as well as he did then, and really showed he's here to be a player in this championship. This dude is so motivated. Here's RJ.
Pretty much hired a guy full-time back home. PJ took care of all my therapy, and I truly believe that once you just set your mind to something, you tell yourself it's going to happen, it ends up, your body's going to believe it, and you're going to end up, making it happen. So that's where I was just whenever I found out I was going to miss Supercross. Man, I was pretty bummed. I was bummed for myself and bummed for the team. Being a new team, a new rider to them, and they expected a lot out of me, and kind of felt like I let them down pretty bad for Supercross. So I was set on, making this outdoor season, and not just making it, but being competitive. And pretty sure I just proved that, I'm here to, battle and be competitive and not have any lacks of strength in my knee. Not gonna lie, it's a little sore right now, but it's kind of expected after outdoor like that.
And finally, Jeremy Martin. You just wanted to see championship contender Jeremy Martin back. It appears that Fernandez is on his game. So who can give him a run? Certainly Jay Marty's won this title before. Can, if he's comfortable and healthy and everything's back in together like it was in 2018 before his injuries. I'd say today being on the podium proved that he's going to be in it for the long haul. So here's Jay Martin.
Yeah, the day was not bad. I mean, it felt really good just to be back at the races and to have that goal and to line up with the boys and just try to have that competitive drive to try to beat everybody. So didn't get out of the gate the best in both motos, but just tried to be tough and suffer through that heat and get up to the front. And RJ and I was getting on RJ in Moto 1, and then he unfortunately hit a lapper. RJ had nowhere to go, and I got a blessing from him. And yeah, just tried to be smart and end it with a third and get a podium the first round.
So a fun afternoon because it was good racing. The weather turned out great once the rain from yesterday had completely subsided. The track was raceable. I think it sets us up for some more great motos next weekend. And the tour will continue. We don't need to talk about scheduling or rules anymore or who's going to show up. We can just talk about the racing. And there's so many other stories to unpack. Chase Sexton, a phenomenal debut, fastest qualifier in his first 450 race ever. Adam Cianciarulo looked good in the second moto leading until he crashed on a jump right over there, but he's uninjured, so he'll be back. Barsha, Baggett, Muscan, so many riders had great moments, and that's what we want to see. A first race that kind of gives us more questions than answers, so we have that much more to bench race about. Now, I think I'll get my guy Mathis back at the races, and we can start chatting socially distant, and maybe we'll turn the best post show we can do right now into just the best post show. I think Ever is out for the year. Just the way it is, folks. We're not going to get everything perfect. I've been saying that the entire time, but thank God we had dirt bikes racing on a motocross track finally in 2020. It was good. Thanks for watching.